You see, in their last moments, people show you who they really are. Alright, what is up my friends? Welcome to another Monday video here on CoolStuffInc.com. We're visiting an old favorite, and Dimir Mill is one of those decks that tends to exist on the outskirts in Modern. It's always kind of there, kind of hanging out, waiting in the wings. Never really a dominant deck or a deck that shows up, super often in top 8s. But it's always waiting and ready to strike. And last weekend, strike it did in the hands of Daniel Brody. And took down the super PTQ on Magic Online. It's actually a 2-slot PTQ. So I came in second technically on the Magic website, but the finals are irrelevant because both players qualify. So, won the Super PTQ, Dimir Mill, and a super, super clean list. Now, if you watched my last video we did on Dimir Mill last year on CoolStuffInc.com, you know that I like the lists that look really, really clean, with a lot of interaction, not trying to mill too hard, just focusing on the really good mill cards and the great interaction available to us in the Modern format. Biggest one here, of course, is Drown the Loch. And Drown the Loch is a kind of conditional counterspell, conditional removal spell. In a mill deck, this is just a blue and a black for a straight up counterspell and straight up terminate. This will kill basically everything and counter basically everything. And this is sort of the card that allows you to be this sort of interactive mill deck. A lot of mill decks in past formats and in various iterations have been more focused on being linear. I'm just going to mill your cards as fast as possible and hope it's good enough. Kind of like a burn deck almost. Whereas cards like Drown the Loch as well as Fatal Push allow the mill deck to be a little more of a kind of pseudo-control combo deck, which is really, really cool. As far as the milling itself, of course, we've now added a second crab to the mix. Hedron Crab, of course, the original. But Rune Crab's arguably better. Rune Crab is an 0-3 instead of an 0-2, and it doesn't target. So things like Leona Sanctity will not work. And while this is a downside for decks like Dredge, you can't target yourself, it's an overall upside for the deck almost in every single way. We have Mesmeric Orb, kind of a 1-card win condition where it can continuously mill cards over and over again, which is great. And the big one-shot deals of Glimpse the Unthinkable, which is mills 10, and Archive Trap, which will mill 13 when they crack a fetch land. Worst case scenario, if they aren't playing fetch lands of any kind, we do have 4 copies of Field of Ruin to make them shuffle as well. As far as our other interaction here, big ones, of course, Visions of Beyond is basically Ancestral Recall in this deck. Once they have 20 cards in the graveyard, we can draw 3, finish our opponent off. We've got Surgical Extraction, which is a big one, actually, because if you're putting cards in your opponent's graveyard and they're playing a graveyard deck, that's not going to go so well. So things like Dredge and other graveyard synergies, Tarmogoyf, and so on and so forth. And of course, this can be used offensively just to hit cards out of their deck. If they have a key card in their deck, they're a combo deck. Surgical can take that. Say they're playing Tron, you mill an Urza's Tower, hit all those. So Surgical makes its way into the deck for that reason. And Crypt Incursion. If your opponent's playing a creature deck or an aggro deck, this is the haymaker. If they're playing Burn, you exile, 5 creatures from their graveyard. That's 15 life. That's a lot. So powerful graveyard hate and also life gain. And 1 copy of Into the Story. Just a nice late game haymaker. Draw 4 cards, 4 mana. Very, very good. Fetch lands. All the usual lands in the mana base here. And Oboro, Palace in the Clouds. Kind of a cute land. You can bounce it and play it. Bounce it and play it with your crabs. That's kind of nice. One important thing to note here is that we are in the future. It is the year 2021. So obviously, we're a Lurrus deck, like all modern decks. We're a Lurrus deck here. And Lurrus is awesome because we would play it basically anyway. We're making no main deck building concessions to playing Lurrus. Playing all the cards we want to. Sideboard wise, we lose out on a few things like maybe Ashiok or Ensnaring Bridge. But aside from that, very low opportunity cost. And Lurrus, of course, is great in grindier games. For a little mana flood, we can go grab that, put our crabs back into play, and go nuts. Otherwise, we got some usual cards here. Aether Gust, of course, red and green permanents. We've got Damnation for creature decks. We've got Crypt Incursion for Dredge, other graveyard decks. A really cool one here in Lullmage's Domination. Blue X, steal a creature, and it costs 3 less if your creature, if you have 8 more cards in the graveyard. So this basically will cost blue, to cat. It basically is the mana cost of a creature you're going to steal, right? So if it's 2-drop, 5 mana will steal it. A 1-drop, 4 mana will steal it. Against Shadow, Tarmogoyf, things like that. Extra removal, Bloodchief's Thirst, extra Graveyard Hate, and Surgical, and then 2 copies of Soul Guide Lantern. That's the deck. Just a super clean, super efficient, super interactive mill deck. I'm stoked. Daniel Brody, of course, congrats to Daniel for winning the PTQ. And we stole your deck, and now we're going to play it. So, but first, quick word from our sponsor at CoolStuffInc.com.
Cool Stuff Inc. is proud to sponsor Jim Davis. We offer great deals on card games, tabletop RPGs, board games, and more. Get a free token featuring Jim Davis and take 5% off your next order if you use the code JIM5 at checkout. CoolStuffInc.com. Cool stuff in stock.
All right, let's go. Round 1 here. Dimir Mill, winning die rolls, playing first. Lurrus, I choose you. I choose you, my friend. And pretty interactive hand here, honestly. So we have an Archive Trap. Then we have a bunch of removals. So this is kind of a really polarizing hand. Because without playing our first mill effect, obviously our Drama Loch's not going to be very good. But they crack their first fetch line and we're good to go. We're going to keep this. It's a little iffy. If we knew we were playing against, say, Tron or like a number of different decks, we'd mulligan. But in the dark, on the play, in game 1, we're gonna keep. We're gonna keep. We have push up. We have trap if they have a fetch land, and we're kind of get seal what we're playing, which is kind of cool. So, like if we went turn 1 crab, they're aware that they can get trapped and stuff. But Delta's pretty innocuous, pretty innocent. Vista, go. Sure, that's fine. So, probably some sort of slower deck here. We're going to Watery Grave. Be really funny if it was the mirror. Mesmeric Orb. I think we're down to just fire off the orb here. Unless they have spell snare, they can't counter it. We gotta assume they're playing sort of slower deck. We'll play our swamp here, keep our fetch lands for our crabs. Play the old orb ski. And don't spell snare me. They're cracking the fetch. Getting an island. Resolves. Alright, and then we're going to play our Archive Trap right here, right now. And they are, so the good news is, for everyone, everywhere, every Magic player in the world, Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath is banned now in Modern, of course. So if this deck would clearly be a Euro deck if they were if it was available to them. So we have some sort of like Bant, Ice Fang, Coddle, Stoneforge, Mystic, Teferi, Time Raveler. It's kind of like, Bant good stuff. Snapcaster, Noble Hierarch. Snowcover Plains saying go, sure. So we're going to mill some cards here, because that's how this card works, of course. And interesting option here. It's kind of actually cool with the with Lurrus too. We draw a Surgical Extraction, which is actually pretty interesting. So we could actually hit like Stoneforge Mystic on one of their threats, which is kind of cool. Which I actually don't mind doing in their draw step next turn. They didn't play Stoneforge though, so definitely not necessarily like they have it. We could also hit Teferi. We're trying to figure out what card they have in their hand here. If they had a Stoneforge, they would have played it. If they had a Teferi, they can't play it yet, obviously. That's a very reasonable card for them to have. I think we're going to put this Lurrus in our hand, though. We'll start there. We now have a Snapcaster in the graveyard. We're going to mill more cards, which is pretty cool cross synergy here, where milling ourselves is actually a strict benefit because we have Lurrus. So those cards are better off in our graveyard than in our deck. Put Lurrus in our hand, and we're going to go to their draw step. So we're going to allow them to draw a card per turn. And then we're going to Surgical, have the best chance to hit a Teferi Time Raveler, which would bounce our Mesmeric Orb and help invalidate our Drama Loch. So, pay the life, fire off here, and see what happens. They could have a Mana Leak or something like that, which could have been a reason to not play it. So we were right. We were right. Good job, Jim. So we can see their entire deck here, of course. Value in that as well. Some sort of like Bant Blade, basically. They have Teferi in hand. They also have a Batterskull, a Jace, a Path, and a Click. So pretty mopey hand for the most part. Get the one in the graveyard too. And actually, can I undo that? I can. We're going to leave the one in the graveyard because there's no reason to take it. They have no synergy with the graveyard at all. No Delve, no to recur it. And we have cards that count the cards in their graveyard. So we're not going to take the one in their graveyard, which is an important distinction to make. It's not mandatory. That's a very common thing to misclick on Magic Online, where you surgical like their prized amalgam and forget to take the card in their graveyard. So yeah, Cryptic Command, Force Negation, 2 Ancestral Visions, 2 Jace, 4 Ice Fangs, 4 Rogue Nobles, 4 Paths, 2 Skyclaves. Looks like 1 Spell Pierce, 3 Spell Quellers, and Stoneforge Mystics. Sure. So all in all, pretty good for us, I think. I don't think they're gonna. I'm just gonna screenshot their hand here because I can't. Just in case it doesn't save it, which usually doesn't. I don't think. I should might as well do the whole thing, right? All right. So cool. Yes, it does not preserve the hand for some reason. So that's great. So we know their entire hand. They can click us if they wanted. We have push, Drown the Loch. It's actually kind of funny if they click us and we can't play Lurrus, but all right, so let's get the, give me 1 second here to get this screenshot up here. So we have their deck and their hand. We're going to untap, and we're going to mill some cards. Mill some lands, sure. Draw for turn. Are they going to click us? They are. So they're going to click us in the draw step. Now, they also have a Jace the Mind Sculptor in hand and a Batterskull in hand. They also have a path to the Lurrus too. So Lurrus is kind of like not super great anyway. We actually can't field them yet, so our push is not on to kill this click. So we could like counter the click, or we can do a few things here. We're just gonna let this resolve, I think, though. They might just put the Lurrus down. They might not, though. We'll see. We have double drown. We have Drown the Loch for Jace the Mind Sculptor, which is important. We can Field of Ruin and then push them if they play a duel of some kind, which they have. They actually have all basics in their hand too. So, all right, take Lurrus. We had Surgical Extraction. Okay. Unfortunately, there's no cards in the graveyard they also have in their hand, so we can't like snipe a card. But that's fine. Play Field of Ruin, and for now we're just gonna say go because we have nothing really. We could, in theory, Surgical a Stoneforge to deny them the ability to draw Stoneforge Mystic. That is one of their primary threats, which is pretty good. So I don't hate that. And you probably do that in the draw step again. So yeah, sure, we'll say go. And we're gonna hard cast this Surgical. There's no reason to pay life here. I guess they're also gonna mill cards too, so we'll see what they mill. So mill sword, land, Cryptic Command. Now they have 2 cryptics left. Still interested in hitting the Stoneforge Mystic. So, it's a new screenshot here, and we'll load that one up. Sorry for the inelegance of having to use the snip function or whatever, but that's what we got. That's what we got, and we'll take the Stoneforges out of their deck. Draw another path, which is fun. We're gonna leave one in the graveyard again because they have no recursion in any way, so that's fun. And let them go to their turn. So their hand is Path, Plains, Jace, Strand, Batterskull. Gonna crack Flooded Strand. Get a Temple Garden, which turns on our Fatal Push, which is great. So attack for 3, no problem. All right, so we're gonna end step. They've already milled the Forest. They have no green now, so it's pretty cool. So we're gonna target Temple Garden with the Field of Ruin. As long as they have mill or swamp, right? Other swamp? Nope. They'll make a white. They might path their own click here, which I think is totally fine. Mildly annoying, but realistically not that bad. That turns out Revolt. We revolt that. They're going to path it. That's all totally fun. So now we just have double counterspell up. And we're just trying to draw some mill action here. All right, so we're going to hold this in our hand for landfall triggers. We have obviously 8 crabs in our deck. And now we're just going to sit back and wait, honestly. We get to draw. So we can cross off. Can I edit this? Oh, they're gonna scoop. Great. Here I am trying to edit the stupid thumbnail, and they scooped. That's great. So cool. Definitely a cool first game there, and so the power of our interaction, which is nice. Now it's gonna be a little tougher because they can have things like Veil of Summer. Veil of Summer is obviously very, very good against us. So we have Bloodchief. There's not really much to bring in here, honestly. Realistically, like the pushes are fine because we need to deal with their spell callers and their Stoneforge Mystics. I would love if we had like some mystical disputes, something like this, actually extra counter magic. But for the most part, this is kind of fine. Set Adrift is kind of interesting. It's a card that can deal with everything from a Germ token to a Jace the Mind Sculptor. Probably better than Crypt Incursion, honestly. Not a lot of graveyard stuff going on for them. Bloodchief's Thirst, also interesting as a way to kill a Planeswalker or a Stoneforge. So somewhat interested in that one. Surgical is not particularly awesome here. It's just like, that game, it removes some threats, but like, realistically, it doesn't really do anything unless they were going to draw the threat anyway. So it's all right, but not super exciting. They had some snaps too, which is like kind of fine. So bring in two more interactive spells, just kind of go from there. It's kind of a weird game where like we didn't draw any creatures or anything like that. It's just like a Mesmeric Orb and some counter spells. Works out fine, but interesting to note that there's no discard in our main deck or sideboard anywhere. So, all right, so we draw a much more mill-heavy hand here. We got Orb, Double Glimpse, Trap, and Drown. Our opponent is going to keep 7 cards. Kind of a weird hand on our part because we draw a black, it's pretty good. Turn 2 Orbs also pretty good. No removal though, except for this round. Needs to draw a black. Double Glimpse, Trap. This is sort of like a lava spiky hand. These kind of cards are like mega lava spikes, basically. Veil of Summer is really, really good. It's really, really good. All right, I think we're going to keep. I don't love it. I don't think I'll keep it in the play. I think on the draw, it's all right. Throw in Vista. And get ourselves a Noble Hierarch here. Sure. Oh my god, I misclicked. All right, well, I obviously meant to trap them and accidentally hit the wrong button. So that's okay. It's a sneaky trap. Sneaky trap. Sneaky trap. They'll never expect it now. So their hand is much better this game. They have acceleration. They've got some damage here. Noble Hierarch, just a phenomenal magic card. Alright, so we draw Delta. Okay, that's pretty good. We're gonna hold the Delta though. No reason to play that yet. Play this, play the Orb. Hopefully the Mist Archive Trap won't bite us too hard. Teferi and things. They have a Teferi here. Pretty bad. Nope. Jace the Mind Sculptor. Also pretty bad. Sure. Jace, and we're going to Brainstorm. Alright. So, much better hand. Double Noble Hierarch on the play. Turn 3 Jace. They're going to Brainstorm. Puts them back. Brainstorm means they're going to fetch land probably next turn, so our Archive Trap's super on. Wouldn't mind drawing a crab of some kind here, A little crab action. We mill over land, push, draw a Surgical Extraction. Interesting. Okay. Definitely don't mind draw stepping this on Teferi. And also, like, getting a look at their hands is kind of nice too. We got Double Glimpse. We have Round the Loch to defend. We have Archive Trap. So we're feeling like pretty good here. So let them draw. Sorry, they're mill cards too. So now actually we get a Stoneforge Mystic. Now they could have cast Stoneforge on turn 2 and didn't. They went Noble on 1, land Noble on 2, and they attacked for 2 and didn't play a 2-drop. So unlikely they have a Stoneforge in hand. Skyclave would have hit this last turn probably, so unlikely they have that in hand. Teferi, probably worse than Jace. Well, again, Stoneforge is like probably the best threat in their deck. I think we're just going to Surgical with Stoneforge. And we're going to pay the life because we're going to leave black up for Drama Lock. So let's Surgical Stoneforge. Let's see what they do. Could have something like a Skull Color. Okay, so kind of a weird one. So they actually boarded out a Stoneforge Mystic, which is kind of a cool idea against surgical decks, because you can just like nullify the surgical a little bit, but they actually still have all their equipment in. They have sword, Batter Skulls in hand. So let's get a little screenshot here. I can apologize for the lack of elegance here, but deal with it. Okay, so we got that open. Try to open this in Paint, actually. Going old school. So I can cross the cards out. Love it. Love it. All right, so we got that. We're going to leave one in the graveyard, which is fine. Their hand is Ice Fang, Noble, Path, Land, Batterskull. Pretty mopey hand and no shuffling abilities. They boarded in a Knight of Autumn. They boarded in Sword of Feast and Famine. They shaved the Fairy. Still have 2 Skyclaves, 1 Snapcaster, a couple Force Negations. Pretty similar. They didn't really do that much, honestly. They also cut down on 1 Path, which is reasonable too, because pathing crabs feels bad. So matchup where crabs should be really good, honestly. Especially Christian in the play. So they're going to do that, and they're going to play a Teferi Time Raveler. So pretty good draw off their Jace. We now have no idea what their hand is, kind of, so their hand's kind of like all question marks. We're kind of miss them. So we're gonna get Swamp. We are taking some damage here from these nobles, so get Swamp. We're going to counter target spell. No fetch land. They're gonna shock too. Sword of Feast and Famine. That's a good one. That's a good one. That is a good one. So, although it's funny because the untaps on the lands from Swords will mill more cards, which is pretty cute too. So, alright. Untap. Mill 2. Draw a crap. And now they're pausing in our draw step. It's just a leftover. They have 38 cards left. It's a lot. But, again, the untap on the Sword is a mandatory untap for Orb, which is kind of cool. So, we get to just play crab here and just start glimpsing them. Thirst is not going to do much here. We can kill 1 nobles when they do anything. We're taking a hit for sure. We have to discard some cards too, but we'll discard the probably the Thirst, honestly. I think we should try and like Lava Spike him out here. So untap, mill a whole bunch of cards. They mill the other sword. They're going to Brainstorm, which is fine. We're going to F6 here, so we got nothing else to do. Modern's fun. It's like the funny synergies, like the synergy between. I shouldn't have F6 actually, because we have a Archive Trap, but I could have undone it if I needed to. All right, so I get the Swamp, which is fine. The sword untapping lands, trigger Mesmeric Orb, which is like so cute. All right, so we take only 2 here. We discard a card. What card are we discarding? This is 10, this is 13. They're almost decked, honestly. I think we discard the Bloodchief first. I don't think Jace matters anymore, honestly. So, boom, untap your lands. Mill some more cards. And hard casting the trap is certainly a thing we can do, too. So, another orb, sure. So, Glimpse ya. Queller? Sure. And now we get to double orb. And now, if the sword hits us, they have to untap all their stuff. Spell Pierce. Wow. All right, so that was kind of all of it. Will we have enough here to survive? I think we will, actually, because they're about to mill a bunch of cards. Now we're down to 10 cards in deck. If they can find how many... they have 1 Skyclave left. Put the sword there. It's 4, 5, 6, 7. Still 1 short of killing us. I guess they could tap these, which is kind of cool. So we might need to draw either a mill effect or 9 cards left, or land. Oh, I'm gonna discard. Yeah, sure. I forgot that. All right. Well, we're gonna cast most of our glimpses here. I'm not sure what we're drawing to here. Set Adrift. Actually, that'll do. That'll do. So we can Set Adrift the Queller and then cast the Glimpse. If they don't have a counterspell in their hand, they lose. They obviously could. I mean, they have cryptic commands and stuff like that, but as far as big draws go, that's one. For the win. Ugh. All right. But now they untap 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just not enough. Super close. Super close. If we had actually played the Glimpse and the Orb in reverse order, we might have actually gotten this one, because they would have countered the Glimpse, not the Orb, and the Orb would have gotten more cards. So I think we might have won this game. We reversed the order there. They only have 1 Spell Pierce on their deck, so it's sort of like, you know, it's kind of hard to play on the 1 Spell Pierce. But all right, so close game there. Close game. I think we're fine for game 3 though. They don't have much against us, and if we draw some crabs, the crabs line up really, really well. They know Veil Summers too, which is huge. Like, Veil Summers, like the best possible card in the format against us. So I'm feeling pretty good here. I'm feeling pretty good. Damnation's a little interesting. Damnation. Kill the creature and stuff. This is fun. I'm pretty happy here. On the play, Lurrus. And we get a crab, an orb. That's fun. Keep this. Missing a color, but we have a Field of Ruin and our draw steps also. So I'm going to play crab on 1. There are times where you don't play crab on 1, in case your opponent's playing like lightning bolts and stuff like that, to try and get guaranteed triggers off of it. But if they want to path us here on turn 1, go for it, you know? Ancestral Vision enters the exile zone. Sure. Suspend. Swamp. Cool. So there's our colors. So we're going to save target and always yield. We mill Noble, land. We're going to take Mesmeric Orb here. And we're going to say go. They're going to mill 1 card, and we'll take a peek. I don't think we're casting this the Surgical, so. Cryptic Command. That's a little tempting, actually. If 3 of those. It's a little hard to cast, though. I mean, which wait. Path to Exile. Sure. Go get an island. Actually, maybe it's Swamp. Mill some cards. And draw Glimpse the Unthinkable. Also pretty good. You can play a land here, just glimpse them. We're not really scared. I guess if we have like a Teferi, it's pretty annoying. As far as leaving up Drown the Loch. But Glimpse could always hit the Teferi, which would be cool. Teferi would be pretty good. Teferi would be pretty good. You definitely could leave up Drown, but I don't think it's that bad. If we just mill a Teferi, we can Surgical it, so let's Glimpse you. We milled Night of Autumn, another Cryptic. We milled a Stoneforge Mystic. I think they would have cast that if they had the opportunity, though. This Vision's hanging out. Cryptic Command. Yeah, we'll hit the Stoneforge Mystic again in the draw step. If they have Teferi here, it is certainly a little annoying, but maybe we'll mill one. Off this last mill. Nope, Ice Fang. Surgical, targeting Stoneforge Mystic. You're going to see the Teferi in their hand. Not be thrilled about it, but again. Oh, we got one. And no Teferi either. Wow, great. So take that and take that. Huge hit when you get the one in their hand. That makes it actually a 1-for-1. Because Surgical is strictly card disadvantage, which is not ideal. Because if you don't get a card in their hand, you just lose a card. And they can't draw the card anymore, but it's also just you're just down a card. So all right, so that's great. Leave one in the graveyard. They have Queller Snapcaster Mage, which is fantastic for us. It's a nice slower set of cards here. They play Forest. We got our little cheat sheet here. Oops. All right, so untap. Love the basics from our opponent. No, never have a dual land ever for our Field of Ruins. And we have push for Queller, but obviously we can't do that yet. They can Snapcaster. I mean something, I guess. Their mana's pretty rough. Like they have like Cryptic Commands in their deck, and they have Snapcaster Mage. Pretty hard to like flash stuff back. Yeah, they could play could try and play a sword here. Should be ambitious a little bit. Sure, untap, mill some cards. We draw a land here. We could put Lurrus in our hand. Sure. So put Lurrus in hand. Say go. So they're not going to play a naked spell queller. Hollow Fountain, untapped, go. So they have Snap, Queller, Sword. They have 4 cards. Snap. Yep. We have their entire hand. It's Strand, Snap, Queller, Sword. So push down. No rush here. Untap. Hit some cards for our Lurrus. Really cool synergy with that. Sure. Nothing too good. Fatal push. Sure. I mean, like. And now we wait. Realistically, like, what are we up to here, you know? Nothing to actually get back with the Lurrus yet. So we've hit no crabs, no stuff. Now, they are going to cast Vision here. So now the question is, do I want to try and fight over this or not? Is them drawing 3 cards bad for us, or I'd rather just leave around for what they draw? I think we're going to counter this. We know their entire hand. They might try and Spell Queller here, in which case we can push the Spell Queller too, so... Yeah, we're gonna hit here. Counter that. Draw the Loch and always counter Ancestral Vision, no matter what. Tapping lands is cool too, because we'll mill some more cards, hopefully at a crab. Their snaps aren't very exciting. It's only like 1 or 2, but they're going to Spell Queller that, which is fine. That's going to fully resolve. Let that resolve. And then we're going to crack a fetch. And we're not going to get... We can just get Swamp, I guess. It's fine. We have Islands. Yeah, we'll get Swamp. Get Swamp. Fatal push that. Try it again. So, there goes, they play Strands, sure. So now you can get rid of the Queller and the Strand. They have Snapcaster, Sword of Feast and Famine are their cards. They're going to fetch it now. Just kind of a heads-up play against our archive traps. We hit End of Story, lands. Still no things to cast with Lurrus. Still things to cast with Lurrus. We draw a land, which is kind of not super useful. We could play Lurrus here, but there's nothing to do with it. So it really isn't worth playing yet and exposing it to removal spells and the like. I think we're just going to say go here. We're not really in a rush to do anything. So, we'll just say go. Hold lands for crabs and stuff. Also, if we draw a crab, we want to be able to play, or we mill a crab, we want to be able to have lands for it too. So they mill some cards. They mill Skyclave. Great. Land. Both Skyclaves are gone now. That is nice. That is very nice. Vista, sure. Now they're at the point where they can't even snap Cryptic because they have always lands in play that aren't blue. So Snapcaster is only hitting Path to Exile, and that's really it. We could have tapped there just to mill, but I don't think we need to do that either. I think we're in no rush here. Set Adrift, sure. Get an island, sure. 2 snow-covered islands remaining. They might have 1 snow-covered island in their deck still. What's an island there? Strand, Forest. Another Vista. And... Fairy? Sword of Feast and Famine. So now they can sort of like sneak in a Snapcaster and equip it, which I think is like fine, but sure. They're gonna mill some cards now. They've got Snapcaster Mage and 1 other card. I think we're gonna tap some lands here and try and find a crab. 34 cards. I was dumb. I thought those were end step. Whatever. That shouldn't matter. Mill. Vista. Orb. Crab. We found a crab. Cool. Vision. That's also a really good draw. Sweet True Ancestral Recall too. The problem is we don't have a black. So if they we want to play the Lurrus and a crab, then we lose the ability to Fatal Push their Snapcaster, which is kind of a problem. They can also Snap Path too. I'm just gonna draw some cards here and probably just keep playing. They could Path our Lurrus too. It's an interesting spot. Interesting spot. All right, let's cast Visions. Another crab and an archive trap and a land. So pretty good. Sure. I mean, like, we're gonna win this game eventually. You know, like I don't think our opponent has any ways to win realistically. With us having all these cards in our hand and Mesmeric Orb and everything, so that's sweet. So it was a good matchup for us. Definitely good for us. They didn't have any Veil of Summers in their deck because that's got cards really good against us. But we can dodge that one. The mill train's looking pretty good. Round 2. On the play. Lurrus, I choose you. Land. Double crabs. This is a very milly hand. We can keep this. Dubs crabs. Opponent mulligans to 6. Leonardo. Alright, so we'll get Vista first, get Island. I don't know what we're playing against yet. And we'll play the worst crab. I guess they're playing Goblin Guys, but if I play Rune Crab, it's hard to say which one's worse or better. It's pretty conditional. Gemstone Mine means dredge usually. Okay, here we go, folks. Just hold on to your butts here because we're about to go into the danger zone. Okay, so of course, dredge is a deck that's trying to mill themselves, and the dredge versus mill matchup is very similar to the burn versus shadow matchup, where both players are trying to do the same thing. We milled them too much, we help them. If they mill themselves too much, they help us. The problem is now we're like stuck on what we can do here. We're gonna play land. We're gonna mill ourself. I'm gonna play land, mill ourself, fetch, mill ourself, play crab. So we can be set up to kind of like fire off a big flurry of mill at them, but we're not gonna do any milling yet. So play this, target ourselves. We get crab in the story, sure. Play this, get Watery Grave tapped, mill ourself. Surgical tilt. Play Rune Crab and say go. They mill Shriekhorn, Cathartic. Pretty good for us. So they mill Upkeep, no dredge cards, cool. Land Crack. Another Cathartic, maybe? What? I hit the button. What? Oh, I'm so mad. That time I canceled the F6. That should have turned off. Because they fetched, obviously. But I guess they didn't do anything else, so I wasn't going to do it. But that's fine. Alright, so no attacks. We're going to play another crab. And just say go. So we're not there yet. So I wouldn't have archive trapped anyway. But I did hit the button to cancel the F6. So, sure. Mill. They hit Life Malone. Sure. Mill. Hit Bloodghast. Sure. Mill. Hit Creeping Chill Amalgam. Okay, now they're kind of getting there on the good stuff. Only dredge 3, though. They're going to haggle on their upkeep as well. They're going to discard an Amalgam. Pretty good. Dredge Loam. Hit Chill Narcos. Now they're kind of going off. So we're at 12 off of 2 Creeping Chills so far, and they've built a board. No fetch. Red. I can't have Cathartic too, right? They must be casting Loam here. Nope. Third time's a charm, my friend. There you go. There's the green. Loam back 3 lands. Crypt, Mesa, Mountain. Sure. Alright, so untap. Draw. So we're in a pretty tough spot. Visions and Beyond. It's pretty funny. We play an Orb here, though, mill 7. But that puts them at 30 cards. We're effectively at 6. Because they have all the Creeping Chills. I don't think we can realistically win this game. Maybe Orb. Second Orb land drop is enough. We got to chump block one of these Amalgams, though. Because we can't go lower than... We're effectively at 6 life. Because we got to mill all 4 chills to win. So we're going to play an Orb and say go. They're going to mill a whole bunch of cards, which is obviously very good for them. Copperline, Narcomoeba. Yeah, alright. Creeping Chill, yeah. They also probably have a Conflagrate too, which we probably can't beat either, so... They attack. So we're going to put this here. We're going to chump one of these and go to... We're at 6, so we're going to get 2 effectively. And then if we can draw like fetch land and play another Orb, like maybe we can get them. If they tap out here too. So if they think they're smart, they won't play anything. It's funny. Alright, so they're going to play Merchant of the Veil, sure. And a tap Blood Crypt. I think we have a chance here, folks. If we can draw a fetch land, we actually have a chance to win here. Come on now. Ugh, gross. Alright, so now we can't Orb and mill 12. So we mill 12 off these, play the Orb. It'd be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. 12 and 14 is 26. They have 27 cards. Yeah, I don't think it matter anyway. Not enough cards for this anyway, too. Yeah, that's kind of a tough game. I shouldn't enjoy lands this game either. All right, they got us. That's fun. With land, the problem is because we were stuck on lands there, we couldn't really like develop our board either. So that's all right. Bring Crypt Incursion. Bring Soul Guide Lantern. I might bring in Damnation too. We definitely don't want spot removal. So like all the pushes can go. Suppose the drama locks are still fine. Snap Surgical is pretty good. So that's kind of cool. I don't think we need these Damnations actually. And this should be a lot better for us because Crypt Incursion is like insane against them. I actually kind of want the Set Adrift on it also. I think that the end of a story is like not remotely good against them at all. So one more interactive spell, you know? All right, so on the play. We're keeping. Again, kind of an awkward hand because we're not going to play our crabs early. But we can keep this. They also kept 7. Shriekhorn, go. Okay. Glimpse. Alright, so we'll just play this and say go. I mean, now you can counter a Cathartic, which is pretty good, so they're going to mill. Double Snakeweed Imp, sure. Creeping Chill, sure. Decay. So they brought in like Decay and stuff, which is kind of cool. Obviously, every interactive spell they board in makes their deck worse. So Haggle. Stinkweed Imp. Dredge Narco Creeping Chill. Pretty good. I don't think we're countering Haggle there. Like, Haggle's pretty weak overall. Shock. And then Sega. Alright. I mean, this is kind of fine. No Visions from Beyond? Sure. So we'll play land here and just say go. Kind of keep our fetches saved up for Crab, but they mill 2. They had a Bloodghast, sure. Mill 2. Hit a Narco and a Lightning Axe. Sure, kind of makes sense. I feel like we're just like not playing our crabs early though, you know? And they hit an Amalgam this time. Sure. So now they got some Bloodghast. Now they kind of got things working now. Unfortunately, a bit of Crypt Incursion here would be so good. But they have 41 cards left. We could have like played Visions just to like try and draw Surgical. That might have been smart, actually. Let's see what they do. Cast Merchant, sure. Alright. We're going to draw Visions. Island. God, killing me here. I feel like a second crab or like something here. I'm going to just draw again. Snapcaster Mage. That's like kind of a start. Alright, so bring these back. Untap, draw. Surgical. Right on time. Right on time. Where were you a little while ago? So I still have 3 chills left. I have 2 chills left. So we're effectively at 7 life. Oh boy. Crab, surgical is pretty bad. Crab, surgical, snap, surgical. Alright, let's play crab. And I guess just start working here. I think we could have played this game a lot better. Target them. Hit Surprised Amalgam. Target them. Leyline of Punishment. Players can't gain life. Damage can't be prevented. I mean, it stops half of Crypt Incursion, I guess. Sure. Go to 11, effectively 5. Narcomoeba. Now we get back the Amalgam. Already 2 in play. Oh boy, this is a tough one. Jump here, take 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. Yikes. Yeah, I don't know if I'm seeing a way out here. I think we navigated this game pretty poorly, honestly. I think that mulliganing might have been an option. Pre-combat. They have 32 cards. I mean, you could just like surgical here and just like glimpse them. And then glimpse them again. Snap glimpse them next turn, but they're just like so close. We're going to cast this targeting Narcomoeba. Could like, yeah, I mean, try Creeping Chill. I don't know. This game just like played out really weirdly for us. I'm not really thrilled with how it played out. Their hand is Grudge, Axe, Ox, double Stinkweed Imp. And they brought in, they have 2 more chills, 2 Conflagrates. Look at that punishment, it's so weird. Grudge, they wrote a lot of cards too. It stinks. Their deck's like pretty diluted, but their fam is pretty functional, so yeah, we're in trouble. We are in big trouble. Effectively at 5. I think we're just like dead, honestly. I don't know if we have any recourse here. Hit chill. Yeah, so like we would need to, I don't even know. They need to like dredge stupidly and like be irresponsible with their dredges, which they're not going to be. Yeah, we played this game badly. These kind of matches are very complicated. It's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Where's that anyway? Where's that on board, right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, or 8, sure. Yeah, these kind of matches are really complicated. They require a lot of finesse. And then we played the game very poorly. And then we probably should have mulliganed our hand. The crabs are super awkward too, because they're really hard to like play. I don't know. We couldn't really board them out because like how we don't have enough cards to like bring in realistically. But we should have been more aggressive trying to look for Crypt Incursion. We should have been more aggressive looking for Surgical with our card draw. So we played that match pretty badly, I think. Which is fine. You know, it's important to recognize when you're playing badly, making mistakes. Yeah. Tough matchup, though. Tough matchup. Burn vs. Shadow and Mill vs. Dredge. Both the matchups require an unbelievable amount of finesse with your deck because you really need to understand when it's time for you to go, when it's time for them to go, when it's time to stop. You know, like plays that are normally very simple and intuitive are pretty much turned on their head. And you make a lot of really weird, unintuitive plays. So, not up to the task that time. We'll play against it again. All right, so pretty reasonable hand here. We're on the draw. Pawn ball against a 6. We're going to keep. And we're going to leave a Delta. Even though the crabs want fetch lands, you probably want the ability to push or get a duel. Cast Orb. I guess they're on the play, so we're gonna see what they do first. So Flood Strand. All right, and we draw another push. Probably not gonna be good here, but I guess we're still gonna play the Delta. We could have like now we could like hold it for a crab possibly, but if they have a turn 2 Stoneforge something like that, I want to cast this push. So Strand goes and gets Watery Grave. Sure. Island. Sure. Bitter Blossom. Sure. Okay. I mean, that's cool. I respect it. We get to resolve our two drop of choice in Mesmeric Orb, which is coincidentally pretty good against Bitter Blossom. There's a lot of tap tokens. I wonder if they're an actual factual fairy deck or Milled Field of Ruin, Darkslick Shores. Make a token, sure. I mean, you got these pushes and stuff, you know, so we got some time killers. Obviously, killing tokens isn't great, but when you gotta buy time, you gotta buy time. Thoughtseize, Sure. I mean, makes our hand a little worse. I would say probably take the drown here, but and Mutavault. Yeah, we got a full on fairies deck here, folks. Modern is pretty sweet. Mills some cards. I think we're just putting Lurrus in hand here. Definitely not going to be fatal pushing a fairy rogue, and then Crypt Incursion's not doing much now either. So end step, petty theft my Mesmeric Orb. All right, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Creeping Tar Pit. The year is 2013. I mean, obviously, if they have like spell setter sprites up the wazoo here, we're probably in trouble, I guess. All right, so Brazen Borrower looms. Snapcaster Thoughtseize. It's pretty good, I guess. All right. All right. Sure. It's gotta be Lurrus here, I guess, because the orb would just recast, or Lurrus would recast the orb, so. Game gonna be going a little bit better for us. I'm not gonna lie. They have a pretty good board here. They only have one card left. They use all our cards here. Fairly aggressive start. Okay, so we get to just play Orb and leave up double Fatal Push, which is fine. We have to start killing tokens, I think. But so mill some cards. Could use a little help here, for sure. Need some better spells. Mill a bunch of cards. All right, they mill Opt, Inquisition, Cryptic Command, Inquisition, Mana Leak. Okay. So we're going to push the Snapcaster, I think. Everything that's tapped obviously has to untap for Orb, which is kind of cool, but I think 2 is a lot more than 1. And we're going to leave these 2, which is fine, I think. Save a second push for the Brazen Borrower or Creature Land. Mill some cards. Draw a Vista. Sure. What should I say go here? We got a ton going on. Petty theft again? All right. Sure. I don't think we're winning the race here. Fire up the Mutavault. Wow. All right. So yeah, we're gonna push in here, I guess. There's now 1 creature in the bin for this Crypt Incursion. Don't actually play that many creatures in their tribal deck. Glimpse the Unthinkable. Sure. Draw step. We got clicks here too? Alright, fire away, my friend. Sure. Do your worst. Might take the orb here. Hey, that was pretty good, actually. All right, so Crab. Fetch land. Hit ya. So we're going to mill 9 and 10 and 19 cards here. We mill some creatures, cast Crypt Incursion, gain some life. We have interest in... play Glimpse, I guess, now and see what turns up. Spellstutter, Fallen Shinobi. This deck is awesome. Let me know in the comments if you want to want me to play a Fairies deck next week or in a future video. Alright, so we're going to do this. Get a swamp. Mill some more. Cling. Sure. Let's get island. Actually, like running out of lands to get, but Shinobi Borrower. So now we're going to fire off this Incursion and gain a lot of life here, which is pretty good. Unfortunately, without the Mesmeric Orb in play, we don't have a consistent method of milling them, but we have Crab. Now we're at 35, so you have plenty of time to draw more Glimpses and stuff. It's possible I should have gotten a Watery Grave and just taken 2, but I guess we only have 1 more Vista in our deck, so we're out of basics. We still have 1 water, so we have 1 fetchable land left, but not off Vista. Draw, Snapcaster Mage. That plays. So we just snap the Glimpse here, right? Put the 10 cards. Yeah, I think so. I mean, like, some random removal spell isn't really doing much, so sure, let's do it. Don't have drawn. They have Cling to Dust, actually. That's cute. They draw anyway, sure. So I guess that was a good draw. They could have actually just clung our targets. It was actually kind of a poor play on our part, but sure. And I got 17 cards left. All right, 28 to 8. We're not currently winning the race. They draw a counterspell. Like, if they draw a counterspell every turn, we're probably dead. We milled 3 lands there too. Jeez. All right, they got 16 cards left. And their clock is only getting better. All right. There's like an archive trap here. Great. Surgical Extraction. Fantastic. That's not good at all. Surgical Cling. And they're just never going to cast Cling to Dust anyway, but sure. And I guess we'll do it. Just do it now, I guess. We get... this is mostly just to see their deck anyway, so sure. So, they got they have full spell setters, opt, drama lock, looks like 2 drowns, some cryptics, nothing really groundbreaking here. It's the Fairies deck, I guess. Sure. So, all right, you're up. I don't think we have any more outs. They've cast the Borrower. That's 6. And 6 is 12. Yeah, we need to win the game next turn. And I don't think... I guess we could draw the Ancestral Recall into, like, multiple spells, maybe. But it's got to be exactly Ancestral into exactly multiple spells. Yeah. All right. So it's kind of a tough game. They had a lot of answers there. They had a lot of answers there. They had basically all the answers. So that's all right, though. Fairies ain't so good. They don't have Bitter Blossom on turn 2. So hopefully that won't happen again. Damnation, it's all right. Fatal Pushes, Lullmage, Domination, not really interested in that. Crypt Incursion is like cute. It's certainly pretty solid against them. Not great, but I think these Surgicals are pretty bad. These can just leave. So you can board in like Incursion, 2 Damnations. Again, Damnation is not like the best card ever against them, but it's fine. It plays. Like that game would have bought a lot of time too, so I think we'll be alright though. I think we'll be alright. I think their hand was pretty good that game. Our hand was a little weird. Like typically the Dimir deck cannot handle Mesmeric Orb. but they were able to bounce it and Thoughtseize it. So Mesmeric Orb is also just really good against Bitter Blossom. All right, Lurrus, I choose you. It's a fine hand we can keep. We have Field for push if we need it. This is a hand I think we're not going to play Crab on one. I guess we're playing Thoughtseize too, though. Just play it. They have Thoughtseize and Fatal Push, so it's sort of like 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. It's more mana efficient to play it, so that'll be our tipping point. I'm not sure if they're playing the full 4 push also. I didn't take that good of a look at their deck. Alright, so Fetch Land's cool. Glimpse is cool. Start the mill train. Mill Borrower, Bitter Blossom, Watery Grave. Sure. Watery Grave. You got the old BB? No? Alright. Vista. Sure. That's pretty good. We have Glimpse too. Push, Trap. Kind of like the high octane mill this hand. Yeah, we can Vista. We could like field them too, but I'm also not playing a mill spell into their possible counter spell too. They have mana leaks and stuff, so probably gonna play this Vista and just say go. Can look for a better spot to play our glimpses. Might have things like Mystical Dispute after board, so we mill Drown, Dispute. Called it. Island, sure. So you go. So we're gonna crack. In response. Nah, never mind. We're not gonna crack in response. We are going to trap him, though. Trap you. You've activated my trap card. 1 blue. Mystical Dispute. Okay. Let me do the math here and count, see if we can pay for this. I think we can. 1, 2. Yeah, we can. We're good. We're good. Mill 13. So they really want me to tap out that turn for some reason. So they have a thing they want to resolve really badly, I guess. That's the only reason why they could see them doing that. Force Negation, Spell Stutter, Snapcaster, Thoughtseize. These cards. Just cards. Nothing else either. Play Field of Ruin, mill some more cards. We could fire up for a Field of Ruin into Glimpse here. I think like Mana Leak's a pretty likely card for them to have, though. So I'm not really in a rush to do that. We're just gonna say go. I think we also like put Lurrus in our hand too, and just like kind of get that ball rolling too. Not that we have anything in our graveyard, but I'm actually gonna do that. I'm not feeling under duress to need to start casting these, and if their hand seems pretty reactive. So therefore, just like running these out into probable counterspells when I'm already ahead on the board is like not a necessary thing to do at all. BB. Yeah, they have Mana Leak 100%. Mana Leak, possibly Spell Stutter Sprite, but one or the other for sure. Drown in the Loch. Okay. Just like go. Now we have like Field into Drown, which is pretty good. Again, they're at 23 cards. We're not in a huge rush here. We're under very little duress. They've milled what? 1 Spell Stutter. Only 1 Stutter. I think them having Stutter is pretty likely, but alright, so now we're gonna field this Tarpit. They give us a nice target for that, which is pretty cool. Might kill our Crab in response here. Or not. Mill some cards. Spell set number 2, sure. Mesmeric Orb. That's a nice one. That's a nice one. Think it's time to start firing bullets. 5 cards in hand. Glimpse you. Blue Mana Leak. Called it. Now the question is, do I want to try and go again? I think I do. I don't think I want to do Glimpse. I think Orb is better than Glimpse here. So, fire again. Spellstar Sprite. Sure. A little odd they wouldn't lead with that one, given that it puts a threat in play also. So if I didn't play a second spell there, they would have a threat in play, but sure. Okay, so now we have an Orb and a Drown to defend it, which is pretty good. We also have a Lurrus. Any land's a fine draw too. I don't think they can beat us before they run out of cards here. Unless they run like perfectly for the rest of the game. Brutality. Duress you, drain you. Well, you can't duress my Lurrus or my Orb. I guess you can duress the Drown Loch, which defends the Orb, but 16 cards in deck, 16 life points. Attack for 2. Fetch line here is pretty good. Or recall. Let's start there, honestly. I counter this, we just resolve Orb, so draw 3 cards. Hello. Crab. At this point, I think all roads lead to Rome. Mill some cards. I'm just going to play the Orb. Should we just have like land drops and Lurrus anyway? So they counter the Orb. Good for you. That's fine. I'm just going to kill one of these now, because whatever, F6. And pretty sure they can't. They need to kill both crabs and us and deal with Lurrus. And they only have 9 cards left. Alright, that's a step, I guess. So I gotta kill the crabs, though. Extinction event on crab. Field is, of course, 2 land drops, so should be the game. I guess they can decline to get their own land, but doesn't matter, actually. All right, they killed the crab. Opponent's putting up a fight here. They are not going down without a fight. That's pretty funny. Sure. So a bounceable land. We didn't mill one of our islands. No, stuff like this. Mill field mill and there's no way they can deal enough damage before just gonna cast this here, I guess. Yeah, they got a 2 cards. I have Oboro next turn, so they gotta kill the crab and deal me lethal in the next 2 turns. Actually, it is actually possible. All right, okay, sure. So I also have to draw nothing. So it's 3, then 4, then 5. So that's 12. That's exactly 12. So if I brick for the next 2 turns completely, that's not a brick. Bizarre Mana Leak, yeah. Doesn't matter, they have no cards in their end. So that'll do it. Game 3. I've been a sad game to lose if we lost that one. Alright, so game 3. Obviously worse on the draw because they can like Thoughtseize and counter faster. But are we interested in Set Adrift at all? I don't think so. These Damnations do feel kind of eh. I mean, they buy some time, I guess, but they're a little clunky. I think it's fine, though. Excuse me. Lurrus, I choose you. I don't choose this hand. Like, this hand's like so close to being awesome. A second land in his hand is just amazing. Can we keep this hand? Like, on the draw, one lander with triple crab. Like, we do have like almost a blank and like almost a blank. They only get a 6. Oh man. You have 20 lands remaining in 53 cards, 2 draw steps, 4 cantrips. Oh man. Oh boy. I'm going to keep and probably regret it. We're probably going to concede this game on turn 5 with 1 land in play and 3 crabs, but this just feels too good to not keep. Just we draw a single land, and we got Glimpse also. And once you draw land number 2, then most of our cards are on, so most of our draws are live too. Thoughtseize, sure. Probably taking a crab, I assume. Not sure why do crabs mill? You know, like, I get why goblins are stupid and blow themselves up. I get kind of why elves make mana. I don't get why crabs mill. I don't really understand the, oh yeah, we're good. Oh yeah, we get show it off too. Oh yeah, let's go. Let's go. So opponent's on the play, mulligan to 6 and Thoughtseize, so they're very resource light. No Bitter Blossom here, please. Alright, they have a Stone Cold Nuts. Alright, they have a Stone Cold Nuts. That's okay. That's fine. Perfect draw from our opponent. Couldn't ask for a better draw of Thoughtseize into Mutavault, Bitter Blossom. That's alright. We're going to get him. We're going to get him. Snapcaster Shores, play Crab. And we'll double fetch right now and get a blue land. Second Snap's also pretty bad. Don't have that many draws that are bad now with 2 lands in play, but that's definitely one of them. Mill. Cryptic Dispute. I think it's Island. Right? What we got here? Push, Damnation, Trap. It's probably just Island. Sure. Alright. Well, you're up. It's funny, we should draw land. I feel really good about this game, but their hand is perfect. They have the perfect ideal opener. I guess maybe like Darkslick Shores over Watery Grave, but that's what's relevant against us anyway, so alright. That is not a land. Glimpsia. Crypt Incursion isn't that bad. Force Negation, pitching Snapcaster Mage. Man, fairy players always have it all, you know? Maybe we can kill him this game with damage. Probably not. Or 13 with a Bitter Blossom. Okay, that's a start. They mill some cards. They have 2 cards left. Possible mana leaks at an attack. We have Crypt Incursion. We're going to field that Mutavault probably. I think let's do it on their turn. Not really in a rush to do that yet. They're taking 2 off that Watery Grave, sure. So I could have click here. But oh, nope. They got Snapcaster for another Thoughtseize effect, right? Okay. We've got 1. This is like fine. As our cards aren't even that good, so sure. Also puts them to 10 or to 8 life. They probably like need to take Damnation here, because if they don't take Damnation, they might not be able to kill us in time. Oh, they're gonna thirst actually. I'm sorry. Alright, so we're gonna respond to that. Do this. sort of cool for our Damnation anyway. So get rid of the Mutavault, which is great. Get a Swamp, which is great. Mill some cards, which is great. Sure. All right, so wouldn't mind drawing a land here. Glimpse is also okay, I guess. They have one card left. Yeah, I mean, sure. Just fire off, I guess. This Damnation's going to be pretty important. We milled some more creatures. So now our Incursion's live, too, to gain some life. Because Incursion gaining life might be enough to like keep us alive until they die, too, but just got ways to go on that one, I guess. Alright, drown the Loch. Ugh, killing me, Smalls. Alright, we're gonna upkeep Incursion. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not great, but you know, 12 life is 12 life, so it's gonna come down to do they have a counterspell in their hand or not, I think. They only have 19 cards left too, I guess. We could just like Snapcaster a Glimpse. We did draw some lands of the year. It's like, kind of a weird spot where like there are very few cards that are like that cost more than 2. And we have 3 4-drops in our hand effectively. And they just like definitely have a counterspell at this point. Yeah, like absolutely. Crab. Alright, we can drown to kill Snapcaster, I guess. Push the crab. I think that's fine, honestly. I think I'd rather just kill the Snapcaster Mage. I almost like want them to counter it so I can just draw a land and play Damnation. I mean, if they have like a mana leak in their hand, I don't think we can win the game, unfortunately. All right, so now I have the option to just snap glimpse them and like try and draw out a counterspell or something like that. I think if I play Snapcaster, they would probably counter it, given the option. And obviously Damnation is much more important. We have 1 Glimpse in the yard. 1 Crypt Incursion. Yeah, I mean, they surely have at least 1 counterspell, if not more. Mystical Dispute, sure. It's probably really bad for us. They just haven't made land drops. Like, what else could they have at this point? Oh, Mutavault too? God. Yeah, I mean, like, when Fairies goes off, it definitely goes off. I mean, like, kind of like just has to have Bitter Blossom or it isn't really functional. And obviously the downside of Bitter Blossom and Thoughtseize is the amount of damage they take. And our deck deals 0 damage and they're already at 6 life. So if you're playing like a normal deck that wasn't milling, you know, it seems like a pretty good matchup for them. We're totally dead here, 100%. There's no way we're not dead here. Just gonna cast it and concede the game when they counter it. Yeah, like for sure. So like pretty tough one, I guess. They have Force Negation and stuff too. It's pretty good. Like Force Negation and Thoughtseize. Yeah, so all right, we'll take the loss, I guess. I mean, like, I don't think there's much we could have done that game. They kind of just like, I mean, they also had like their perfect hand on the play too. Damnation certainly wasn't great. It was clunky. It was kind of weird too because like we drew, like if you look at our deck list, right, every single card costs 1 or 2. We have 1 Crypt Incursion, 1 Into the Story. These cost 0. And Snapcaster effectively costs like 3 or 4 in our deck. So we had 2 Damnation and 2 Snapcasters. So we had 4 drops. Just drew 3 of them. We were stuck on lands too. So like, if we had, if one of those Snapcasters is like a different card, maybe we're all right, So like definitely a lot of ifs in that game. They had a pretty good hand, and we didn't draw as great, blah 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 blah. But like I felt like we could have won the dredge games if we had played better, like a lot of different ways. If we made mistakes in that game, they felt much more minute. It's fine. We can keep. A little awkward, but Urz is mine. Well, we got 2 Field of Ruins in our hands, so Field of Ruin Surgical is a pretty good plan against Tron. Unfortunately, they can Tron before we can field them though. So winning the die roll here is pretty good for them. So they might just turn 3 Karnas and beat us, but Fatal Push, not really the best card against them, but sure. Yeah, they should turn through Tron. Yeah, hopefully they're playing like Eldrazi Tron, I guess, maybe. I don't even know what the hope is here. Mesmeric Orb. I mean, the hope is draw Surgical there. And then to mill over one of the actually it doesn't even matter if they just get a response. Yeah, we're probably screwed here. Realistically. On the play, totally fine. On the draw though, we can't field them before they can Tron us, so I'm going to imagine that we're dead here. So, of all the cards they milled, we still don't know if they're playing Eldrazi Tron or not. Sure. I reckon we're about to find out. What? Okay. Alright, it's Eldrazi Tron. Okay. I feel like now we have a chance to win. So we can drown the Smasher. We're milling a decent amount of cards here. Okay. Surgical Extraction. That also plays. Okay. Let's mill their wastes. Let's start there. Boom. Mill the wastes. Matter Shaper, Urz's Mind, Warping Whale. There it is. We did it. That's great. Okay. Now we're going to Field of Ruin them. We want to kill the land. If they were to search for the in response, that would not matter as we go into their hand, actually. So, how do we do this? They have a mine and a tower in their graveyard. Mine. We kill Power Plant. They search for it, and then we surgical it and get the card out of their hand, too. It's actually insane. That's really, really good. All right, so kill this. They float 2 in response. And they crack the map in response. I screwed up. I needed to target one of the ones that was in the graveyard already. I just made a mistake. I just overthought it. Okay, sure. So we screwed up. It's not really the end of the world because no, they got Blast Zone actually. Never mind. So they want to kill my crabs. They must have a power plant in their hand already. Because they can't even activate this yet. I guess they can't do that either. I don't know. Let's see what happens here. Alright, so kill land. Blast Zone to kill my crabs is pretty good. We're going to get a swamp. We just hard cast the surgical, so I don't see us playing push this turn. They have 2 wastes? What? What? Wow. Wow. Karn lands, sure. Alright. I guess we're gonna surgical the it's power plant. And their power plant, sure. So they're gonna kill my crabs. We have Orb and Loch. I think this is like a pretty close one here. I should draw step this now. What am I doing? I'm sorry, folks. I should have draw step this also, because they have a chance to draw it too. Whatever. All right, so they have Blaststone, Ghost Quarter, Sanctum, Matter Shaper, Tower. So they don't have much going on here, honestly. They've got a couple cards here. I don't have much, like, too much going on. Leave lands in their graveyard, which is fine. They get to Blast Zone my creatures, sure. I get to drown their Smasher, sure. And they have like a Matter Shaper, and that's really it. We have Lurrus looming too, so they're kind of like, as far as ways to kill us, they have like Endbringer, 3 Smashers, 3 Thought-Knots, and some Matter Shapers. So as long as they don't draw threats, really, I think we're okay here. I'm almost surprised with it be the second waste, honestly. I did not know they played 2 wastes. Alright, so you want to draw a land here, I think, so you can play the Orb and drown Loch this Smasher. We'll discard the push. They do have a Matter Shaper in hand, but say they played the Blast Zone. We draw another Mesmeric Orb. And we have to kill the Smasher, so we don't have a choice in the matter. So we'll just say go, I guess. So Ghost Quarter, Sanctum, Matter Shaper, Urza's Tower. The good news is if we field them, they like lose. It's basically just Stone Rain at this point. Chalice on 2. That is insane against us. Okay, well, we're countering that instead. Chalice on 2 is very, very good against us. Draw land? Killing me. Alright, well, once again, we have to drown the Loch to Smasher or we die, so we're just gonna say go. Now we're at 5, unfortunately, so we are in much worse shape than we were before. So we're just gonna say go. And I think we gotta save this push for the Matter Shaper in their hand. Yep. We're like pretty close to milling them out too, honestly. I mean, maybe with the Archive Trap and the Mesmeric Orb, we can get them to draw land. The orbs aren't even that great though. Like we're never gonna pitch an orb to the drown because the orbs are redundant also anyway. They have 26 cards left. Kill this. Kill that. 3 cards left. They've got Ghost Quarter. They have Sanctum, Urza's Tower card. Ghost Quarter my land. So now I can't make them search. Okay. Could have got a swamp there and killed the Matter Shaper, I guess. Glimpse. 26 cards left. We could just put Lurrus in our hand here. And just like, we draw land, we should go Lurrus plus Crab and just have infinite blockers with Matter Shaper. I get Swamp there and kill Matter Shaper, like our mana's a little more awkward. I probably should have done that though. 2, 3, 26 cards. Yeah, we're gonna put Lurrus in our hand. Like small mistakes in this whole league actually. Magic's tough. Magic's tough. Draw Smasher and just kill us. So they have 2 Ballistas total. They do have a lot of air too. They have like Expedition maps and like All Is Dust, and I guess All Is Dust would actually be good against us now. They can't cast it though. So land. Oh, come on! You're killing me. What are we doing here? All right. Oh, that's brutal. Had to be a 2. All right. Yeah, I think we just like played really bad this game. I think we screwed up. If I had gotten a swap and pushed this thing, we were probably actually in totally fine shape. But that's all right. That's all right. So now I got to play Lurrus to block the Matter Shaper, which is not a good exchange for us. But and then we have to play land tapped and say go. Sorry, Lurrus. If we had 3 life, we were doing great this turn. But fortunately, not to be. Matter Shaper reveals Walking Ballista. Sure. They can play. So we're back to 2. They're gonna play a 6 mana Ballista here. We get to push it. No. Yes. Yes. We get to push it, and I'm sorry, it's only gonna be a whatever smaller one. Why would they do that? They have lands in their end. Don't we know they have Sanctum in their end? Are they trying to play around Mesmeric Orb, maybe? It's interesting. They shuffle. We're going to get them. All right, so we're going to push this. Play Orb. And hopefully they don't draw Reality Smasher. Basically, just like, if they need to draw Smasher or we need to draw land. Because once we Orb, they mill 4, and then they go to, they're at a low enough cards where the trap, we can hardcast trap and kill them, I think, too. So don't draw Smasher. Top card Smasher. Domination. Smasher, yes. Matter Shaper. Wow, 4 threats milled. That is something else. Sanctum of Ugin, sure. So now I think we are almost a lock to win, because any threat that doesn't have haste, and any non-Reality Smasher threat would force them to tap a bunch of mana, mill off of that, and then we glimpse them. I guess we need to draw land for Archive Trap. What is this? Karn? What's the old Karn dog going to do here? Get another Ballista and kill us next turn. So this would require us to. Actually, they're gonna have 1 card in their deck if they get Ballista here. They have 1 card in their deck, and they can win the game with 0 cards in their deck, which is actually wild. We got Field of Ruin. That'd be cool. Yeah, that's a Ballista. All right. I mean, it's funny the turn they played Ballista for not 6. If they were playing around Orb, they might have won them a game. It might have been a super, super heads up play. Oh my god, they're tapping lands. Wow. Never mind. That's going to lose in the game. If we draw an untapped land here. Untapped land, please. Never mind. Sorry, that's fine. It's not what we wanted. It's actually better. It's actually better. So untapped land would have milled 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. They had 18 cards in their deck, but obviously that works too. So cool. Close game there. Close game. Might have been an error or two. Didn't get punished. Hashtag play bad, win anyway. All right, so Eldrazi-tron. Set Adrift. Lullmage's Domination. That works. That works. Damnation, yes. The problem is our only answer in our entire deck to Chalice the Void on 1 or 2 is Set Adrift, which is terrifying. Realistically, we're gonna cut these. I'm gonna cut like 2 pushes. I don't really kill enough. Crypt Incursion's like, I mean, it's okay. The fact that it costs 3 and not 1 or 2 is like appealing just a bit in that respect. I just cut all the pushes. We're bringing the Lullmages too. I'm gonna cut all the pushes actually. Cut all the pushes. I'm bringing an Incursion too. I guess Thirst. I maybe bring Thirst in because Thirst can kill a Planeswalker too. And if I kick it, it gets around Chalice. So, any other cards you want to cut here? Honestly, the snaps aren't great either. Let's cut a snap. Let's try this. Both Damnation and Lullmage's Domination should be very, very good. Lullmages can steal Eldrazi at a pretty good cost, and then that's obviously awesome against them. So, give me Lurrus. Give me Mulligan, who stands terrible. Our traps aren't great against them. Obviously, we have fields and they have maps, but we're going to Mulligan. To a pretty bad hand that is double field. I'm going to keep. It's pretty bad, but I don't think we're going to 5, so. Sure. Well, trap's on at least. I brought the Surgicals up. I guess like they're not actually Tron though, so that's like fine. Because like Surgical Tron land's pretty good. We did it last game. It was pretty important. But maybe we do want Surgicals actually. It's weird to think of it like that, but let's have it again. God. All right, so sure. We draw another land. All right, so pretty bad draw steps here. Not gonna lie, but that's okay. Play Oboro, say go. See, I guess you want the Surgicals in. I guess that's my bad. Oh crap. God. My stop was, I couldn't hit my stop fast enough. God. That's infuriating. All right. All right, I think we're trying to go next game. I'm gonna shame scoop. We don't have anything anyway, so I mean, like our hand is just actually awful this game. So, all right, shame scoop on the misclick or the inability to click fast enough. We're gonna want the Surgicals. I'm not even sure, honestly. Like the Surgicals are just like they just like don't have Tron a lot. Like they have to draw literally 2 unique Tron lands and a map to have Tron or natural Tron, I guess. You know, like. It's not like we're playing against green Tron where they just have it every game. So, like, the Surgical is literally only good in that exact scenario. I'm just going to keep it out. And now we're on the play, too, so we can field them before they can Tron us. So, all right, that's fine. Game 3, not a problem. And our hand is not great, but passable. I mean... A single search from them turns out into the story. We have Lullmages, which is pretty good too. I'm going to keep. It's not great again, but most spells here are good. So now they have their map draw again. Obviously, it is very good because we have the trap. So this trap turns on both these cards by itself. Temple, sure. No map, sure. Crab, Orb, Glimpse is fine. Turns on end of a story. I'll buy that. So now story and domination are both on. We hit Smasher, Ensnaring. Did they board up on cards? No, they didn't. 62. They boarded up. I have a lot of respect for our opponent. They just brought in their whole sideboard. So they have 62, 60, 69 cards. 70 cards. 70 cards in their deck. I don't know if that's right because they've diluted their deck really badly with these ensnaring bridges and stuff, but more power to them. More power to them. I guess we milled them for like almost exact these last games. They figured that like, well, this time they won't get us. Still, drawing Damping Sphere in your drawing Damping Sphere in your Tron deck against the non-Tron deck is pretty pitiful. It is pretty pitiful. All right, Matter Shaper it is. So we draw Damnation. Not bad. It's a pretty weird hand. We're like, this is the anti-Chalice of the Void hand. We have all of our off-costed cards. If they have a Thought Knot here, we should have 3 good cards. So, like, it's not even that bad for us. Like, Thought Knot and Smasher are, like, probably the best cards against us. Whew. No Thought Knot means probably Smasher, but it's fun. Get this. Untap. And now we can land into the story. Untap Wrath after they play Smasher. No Smasher? Mind Stone? Inconceivable. Wow, that's good. They definitely have Smasher in their hand. 100,000%. Okay. Oh, we have more than one Smasher, honestly. Draw some cards. I guess Warping Whale. What's Warping Whale do? Is that a tribal Eldrazi instant? It is not. It is not tribal, so you cannot cast it off the temple. I think I cast it off Mindstone, obviously. Never mind. I'm making stuff up. Oh my god, what is going on here? We've drawn all of our. We've drawn 0 crabs, 0 glimpses. Okay, I guess, sure. I mean, we might just be like, oh, now I could just field them, I guess. That's actually really good. I could field their temple, double trap them, and then incursion them. Oh boy, that's good. All right, so we'll do that in their draw step. Already have 1 waste accounted for. I guess we have all these cards in our hand. All right, let's do it now, I guess, sure. Weird hand. Weird hand. We'll get Island. And cast Trap. And cast Trap. And cast Crypt Incursion? Sure. What we're going to do is now, in case they have, like, I don't know what they could have, but we're just casting this now, whatever. They're going to Smasher, we're going to Wrath. We're getting a bunch of life here. Like, I didn't even count. It's a lot of life, though. between the Wrath and double Domination, I think we're like in pretty good shape to just beat them straight up this game, honestly. I'll play like a good Planeswalker next turn or something like that, but I'm not really sure what Planeswalker we're scared of, honestly. You got Sky Sovereign in there, Basilisk Collar, Sideboard and Grafdigger's Gauge, sure. Yeah, I don't think that's worth having a few extra cards in your deck to dilute your deck that bad. That's a lot of bricks. You know, if it's a card that's just like, it's fine. It's not like a relic or something like that, or some like card, but like a card like we gained a bunch of life, which is great, or 37. If it's like a like Sky Sovereign's fine, whatever. It can kill your opponent. It can kill a crab. That card's fine. Not optimal, but fine. But a card like Grafdigger's, I guess Create stops Snapcaster Mage, but specifically Dampening Sphere, which literally turns off your Tron and Eldrazi lands, you know? So, are they considering drawing a card off of their Mind Stone? No. They can make a so they have the Orbing Whale. I was correct. So now they can play Smasher guaranteed. Which is fine, Creature Wrath. We have these Lullmage's Dominations in our hand, which basically it's total mana cost to steal a creature of that cost because of the reduction on the 8 or more cards in the graveyard. So 5 mana to steal a Smasher, 3 mana to steal a Matter Shaper, and so on and so forth. Card. I mean, can't steal that with Lullmage. Gotta go get a card. If they have any cards left in their sideboard. It's a Forsaken Monument. Okay, kind of a cool card. Get that on the graveyard too. Look at this one. Colorless creature +2/+2. If you tap, double it. Cast colorless spell, gain life. So it's like an Anthem and it's a Mirari's Wake for colorless stuff, which is like fine, I guess. Rune Crab is good. That is a good one. All right, we're gonna fire up the Crab here. Play Crab. I might just steal their Matter Shaper, honestly. We were pretty heavy on the Lullmages, so mill some cards. Pyre of Heroes. What a card, Golos. Like Golos is fine to bring in. Golos is fine. It's a card, you know, fine, strong, whatever. Give me that. Your turn. 32 life points. Sitting pretty. Four in the pool. Sack Scion for 5. Play Monument. The problem is, this is kind of like a setup turn. And I don't know if they get any more turns. You know, like, what are they going to do here? They're going to plus on nothing. So we attack Karn to 1. They can't search anymore. It's pretty cool. We draw Fetch Land. We did it. That's going to put them down to 8 cards. And attack the old Karn Dog. I mean, say go. You know, like, we're at 31. They will have 8 to 10 mana next turn. But what can they do with it is the question. They need to kill me from 31 life before they run out of their 7 cards, while also dealing with my Rune Crab. And they gotta beat my chump blocking Matter Shaper, my Damnation, and my Lullmage's Domination. What do you think, opponent? Can you do it? You do have 7 cards in hand. 7 cards is a decent amount of cards. 7 cards and 10 mana is a lot. A lot, for sure. All right, 4 mana to start. Gonna start off with a Spatial Contortion. Okay. Targeting the crab. Sure. So, annoying, but fine. Also overtap for it, which is fine too, I guess. Whatever. Tap some more mana. Play Chalice on 2. I mean, realistically, like, don't need to cast many more spells to win this game. And they're going to make Mind Stone into a 4/4 creature. Okay. We could steal it and kill Karn, which is actually pretty humorous. They have no lands in their hand. It's pretty wild. They can't tap Mind Stone for mana and sacrifice it. And then we can draw off the Mind Stone too. Okay, sure, we'll take Mind Stone. This is a little weird, but sure. Killing Karn here is kind of nice. So I can tap it for mana, so it's tapped, so I can't use it. But can't tap it for mana and sacrifice it, even though you can make a mana and, you know, you just can't do it. Not how it works. Can't pay cost twice. So we're drawing to, like, yeah, that's good. It's not every day you steal your opponent's Mind Stone with Lullmage's Domination. Again, modern awesome. Modern awesome. I gotta play some more modern. They're going to dismember their own Matter Shaper. Sure. We're going to trigger it, and we're going to hit a Darkslick Shores. It's funny, because we could hit a 2-drop there and put it into play, which would have been awesome. But, all right. So, we are, you know, a little out here. Although we can draw off Mind Stone. So, we basically double Stone Rain them. And we tried to kill Karn. Obviously, it didn't work. But we double Stone Rain them, and then we can draw 2 cards next turn. And we're drawing to any crab. Basically, any 1-mana spell is good. Archive Trap's good. R2s aren't good, obviously, but with 6 cards in their 6 cards in their deck, Smasher is good. That's a start. It's a 7/7 Smasher too. All right. I have the Monument. So now I get to Wrath the Monument. So we take 14 here, but then I get to Wrath the Monument. They have no mana left. So I think we're in good shape here. Cool turn, to say the least. But all right, untap and draw. We draw Set Adrift. Kind of a cool card. We'll hold that for Chalice. Pop this. Oh no, I can't do that because there's a card in play. That's so funny. I forgot. Okay. Do we set the Karn? Because they can't. Yeah, so we actually set the Karn here. So we don't have a land in their hand, so they can't even cast it, which is a brick for next turn. So yeah, so we'll set the Karn. We'll Wrath. Set this. Actually, have Snaps in our deck. Sure, hold on. Oh my god, we have Lurrus too. I didn't open this game. I'm playing loosey goosey. This game's actually like over. Whatever. Okay, now we Rathia. I guess we have no fetchable lands left. It doesn't freaking matter what we do, honestly. Whatever. But Lurrus in our hands they go. They're drawing a blank next turn. We just Lurrus, play Crab, play land, and mill them, and they just can't win. So we stole their Mind Stone. Can you believe it? Weird game. It doesn't have any lands, you know? All right, cool. Let's take it. 2-2. Sweet. All right, 2-2. Winning record. Winning record. Here we come. Let's go. Lurrus, I choose you. Darkslick Shores, Crab. Sounds good. We like this. It's really good if they play a fetch land, but good otherwise. Now, the question is this a hand where we want to hold on to Crab for turn 2? The awkward part is then we can't drown on turn 2. We're just going to run it. Obviously, if they go Mountain, Lightning Bolt your Crab, it feels bad. But again, in the dark, I think this is correct as far as mana efficiency goes. We'd love to see a fetch here. Because fetch plus landfall is almost enough for this to be Ancestral Recall, which is good. So, Marsh Flats. Sure. It's a card you can put in your deck. Looks like the Expedition Wasteland a little bit, but alright, so I'm gonna mill some Lingering Souls here. Glasspool Mimic, Hollowed Fountain, Arid Mesa. Okay, sure. So my stop properly this time. So when they crack their fetch end step, they can still do it. Alright, so resolve this. This might be like a Death and Taxes deck or like a Spirits deck or something. Prairie Stream. Wow. That's cool. Alright, trap you. And let's take a look at what you got and consider a draw step here. Glasspool Mimics, Ephemerate, Saheeli, Soul Herder. This might be Aspiring decks like Weirdo Saheeli deck. Militia Bugler, Saheeli, Skyclave. And we have like Drama Lock up too, so we can just counter things as well. Triple Ephemerate, Soul Herder, 2 Skyclaves. I think going for Saheeli is probably reasonable with this Surgical Extraction. I guess we can wait a turn on that. That's going to be our target. Like, what are they playing on turn 2 here that really gets us? Just let them draw and take their turn. Get to mill more cards to get more information. Sure. It's a lot of Glasspool Mimics. Prairie Stream. Plains, sure. Wall of Omens. You got it, my friend. Shields up. Alright, so they've got 18 cards in the bin. So next turn is Land, Mill, Recall. Ooh, more mills. Alright, Milia. Feldar Guardian, sure. Milia. Feldar Guardians. Now, 2 Guardians, 2 Saheeli, Soul Herder, and Friends. I'm gonna pop off a Recall here. Double Surgical. That's just cheating. Triple Surgical, we want it with the Snapcaster Mage too. Yeah, 26 cards. All right, let's start here. We're gonna say go. We're gonna draw step Surgical. Possibly Soul Herder. Like, we're looking for the cards that like aren't more than 1 here, and that are probably playing 4 of. Saheeli and Feldar are definitely that, but they have 2 of each. Yeah, we're just gonna draw step Surgical to Soul Herder. Let's start there. That's like the most likely card to pop up, and then the second Surgical can hit whatever card they have in their hand. You have Drown available too, so well, we got him. Double Auriok Champion, Saheeli, Bugler, Ephemerate. Yeah, so this is like pretty good for us, I would say. Leave the one in the bin. They have a Watcher for tomorrow. Well, it's just Aspiring Spikes deck. Sure. I mean, double Auriok, yeah, whatever. I guess I'll target Saheeli if they fetch. Yeah, whatever. The Bugler. I gotta target that, I guess. Sure. I don't think it matters. Venser, Shaper, Savant. Sure. We're just going to hardcast Surgical on Saheeli. And it's Ephemerate, Champion, Strand, Venser. Fatal Push, sure. So take some life, mill some cards, Glimpse ya. Leave up Drown, next turn, snap Glimpse ya. On Thin Ice, that's cool. I think we're in good shape, folks. I don't think that the beatdown plan here is really killing us either. Yeah, block. 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 Kind of like a cool value deck. Ephemerate's a cool card. Ephemerate's coming to Magic Arena, to Historic. I mean, they have Venser up now, but like, whatever. You know, like, Venser costs a lot. Glimpse. So they can Venser my Glimpse, just cast it again. Yeah, they're just dead. 10 ways till Sunday. It's like a pretty good matchup for us. Once they board, they're gonna have like probably disputes and stuff, but like they just don't kill us fast or interact in many meaningful ways, and we can interact with their combos pretty well. So, Crypt Incursion. Let's see, what do we want here? Let's look at the cards we want first. Honestly, Damnation's kind of fine because they're kind of like a go wide deck. Surgicals, fine. Set Adrift. Teferi is very good. I mean, did they have Teferis? They gotta have in their board, maybe. They're main decking Auriok Champion, trying to just like hedge in certain spots. Yeah, Incursion can go out. Push, like, I mean, it does kill things, just kind of reasonable. I guess Rats kills our own stuff too, right? Yeah, whatever, I don't need that. Got the Incursion for a Set Adrift, and just call it a day. Like, I don't really want Bloodchief's Thirst. Domination. Yeah, this is fun. Seems pretty good for us, honestly. Opponent's tanking. Opponent is tanking. Deck is built by Aspiring Spike. Aspiring Spike's a great content creator. I like Aspiring Spike a lot. Plays Modern all the time. And is constantly bringing up new decks. We played a few Aspiring Spike decks here on my Cool Stuff videos. I like Aspiring Spike a lot. Good people. I mean, this hand is interesting because we have Double Trap and Recall. So if they just crack a fetch on the first turn or two, we just have a Recall in our hand. We're going to keep this. We're going to keep this. Island. God damn. We also have Crabs too, which is pretty good too. So, all right, so I should just stay open. Vista, Windows Vista, Hedron Crab's the worst blocker. Put that one first. All right, so say go here. Love to see a fetch land from you. Nope. Basic. Impossible. We also have the fail state of like Rest in Peace. That's good, I guess. It's pretty good against our hand of Snapcaster Mage, Surgical, and Visions. All right, that's pretty good. Might cause us to reevaluate how we sideboard and stuff. We can just draw land. Cool. Do things that way, you know. So we'll leave their Exile open, see what they've got going here. Watcher, double Avalanche Riders. I respect a Magic player who boards an Avalanche Riders against me a lot. Like a lot. All right, Avalanche Riders is an OG. It's an OG. All right. This game could be hard, honestly, because they have no fetch land again. Who are these people? Skyclave? Gross. Alright. So we're gonna draw a card here. Alright. I mean, their clock ain't fast, you know. Fetch land? It'll push. Double Feldar. Saheeli. Alright, I mean, they have a way to Flicker Fist and get rid of this crab. We're probably in trouble here. We do have 26 cards worth of mill here if they fetch or we draw Field of Ruin, but alright, so looking for a Field of Ruin. That's the big one here. Alright, so we'll say go. We'll just like Snapcaster Flash block. Surprise. Field of Ruin, please. Aether Vial? Cool. Watcher for tomorrow? Cool. This is a deck I'll probably play in a future video. Seems really cool. Alright, draw. Ho, 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 ho. Merry Christmas. Okay, we like to see that. So now we get to field, double trap, and push Skyclave, I guess? I don't think it matters, honestly. Might as well be, though. Kind of nullifies our Lurrus, too. Jeez. We already milled some... Oh my god, we milled all our basics? We milled the mountain and both plains? That is obscenely lucky. I almost feel bad. Just kidding. I don't. That's a bad beat for our point. That's a really bad beat. We milled the 3 remaining snow land or basic lands and they have 34 cards left. Force it? What? You're a maniac. Archive trap you. Archive trap you. Alright. You forced my push. You got me good. You got 8 cards left. I guess if they can, like, kill this somehow, they could clock us in theory. But... because we are... 8 cards is enough to attack a few times. Wheel of Sun and Moon, also. Fencer. Sure. So we put, obviously we put Lurrus in our hand too. Another vial, sure. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. Draw 1. Ooh, that does nothing. That does actual nothing. That can kill a token. So Orb only mills 2 cards here, but that's probably enough. Even if they can like kill it this turn, they go to 5 cards and go to 4 cards on their draw step, and we're at 11. I don't think they can finish us off here before the deck. Don't think. no attacks at all. Okay. Okay. I mean, like, I suppose they could vial up to 4 and, like, play a Saheeli and just, like, kill us with 0 cards in their deck. If they have, like, they can draw, like, a land and have a Saheeli in hand. What do they got? They got 1 Saheeli, 2 Saheeli, 1 Feldar, 2 Feldar. In theory, they have a Saheeli and a Feldar in their hand. The question is, can they even cast the... Alright, there's that. Can they even cast the Saheeli with a red source? They need to draw like an actual red source. So obviously the fetch lines don't work. We'll take it. That seems like a really good matchup. Let me tell you about that matchup. That seems like a good one. So we went 3-2. I think with better play, it could have easily been a 4-1. I think that dredge match was one I'm looking back on, and I'm thinking to myself, like, we definitely not, because the thing is, there's small errors, like in the match where I didn't click my thing fast enough. Like that's an oopsie, whatever, like oops. And there's also like macro. I mean, those are micro, like little like minutia errors. There was like macro errors of like your entire strategy is incorrect. Like playing as burn and fetch shocking on 1 rather than fetch getting a planes or whatever. So I would say I think our macro strategy again in the dredge match was probably incorrect. And we maybe could have gotten that one. So it's a weird matchup. And then the fairies match, like we kind of just like they had some good hands and lined up well against us, which is whatever. So, but yeah, this deck is really good. I like this deck a lot. The amount of interaction is great. Drama lock is great. It's a really good mix of just straightforward mill stuff with interactive elements also. Field of Ruin's great. Surgicals were good. Wouldn't mind like another fetch maybe. The Darkslick Shores are good against like burn and stuff, but we were a little light on fetches for our crabs. The One End of a Story was good. Lullmage was good. Incursion's great. Deck was good. Deck was good. I'm impressed. So congrats to Daniel Brody for winning the PTQ, and congrats to you all for watching the video and making it to the end. I appreciate that. Thanks so much. Remember, folks, so there's a companion article to this video on CoolStuffInc.com. Go read that. Go read my article from last Friday, which is all about my loves and hates for Strixhaven. It's an article I do before every new set. And then this week, 2 days from now on Wednesday, is the early access stream, my 10 new brews. Probably my favorite piece of content that I do. I brew up 10 new decks. I get to play it a day early on the early access stream. So look for that. I always do a stream. It's like a 10-hour stream where I'm playing 10 different decks. Look for my decks on my personal YouTube at Jim Davis MTG. And then here on Cool Stuff on Friday, I do an article about it. So I go over all 10 decks. I give them all a letter grade, give them my thoughts on their potential for the future, whether they're a hit or a dud kind of thing. And fully piece of interactive content across all my mediums, YouTube, Twitch, articles. So very exciting week with Strixhaven coming out. Look for that one as well. So we got 10 new brews on Wednesday. Look for that article on Friday. Last week was love-hate for Strixhaven. And I'm excited. We got a new set coming. All right. So thanks for watching, folks. I love you all. And I'll see you all next time here on CoolStuffInc.com. Have a good one.